Jalen Green was the second pick in the NBA draft and has been a player who is receiving a lot of slander for his performance this season. He wasn't great for most of the season at all. Though I feel like people highly exaggerated and didn't take into consideration his environment and how the Rockets weren't putting him in the best positions to succeed, he definitely wasn't very good to say the least. But recently at least, he's been exceptional. He's coming off a 32-point masterclass where he took over and won the game for the Houston Rockets. He scored 11 points in overtime, which is more than the 10 points the Lakers as a whole scored. Many people might think this is a one-game thing, but it really isn't. This is something which has been setting up and bound to happen since the start of the season and has been showing ridiculous flashes since game 1, and now he's just putting it all together. In the last 15 games, Jalen Green is averaging 18.3 points per game, 3 assists per game and 3 rebounds per game on 47% from the field, 37% from 3, while averaging only 1.5 turnovers. What has been the reason for his rise after the bad first half of the season? Let's talk about it.
They be like, what? Can you teach me how to dirty? You know why? Cause all the bitches love it. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin'. And for you to back it up and dump it.
Leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I drop regular NBA content, and with the NBA season going on and the playoffs coming up, this should interest you. So do subscribe to the channel. Jalen Green throughout the season has been showing some incredible high volume pull-up flashes. He's been incredible using his ridiculous athleticism, speed and flexibility to create space, even if he might not have one of the best handles in the league. Jalen Green before this 15-game stretch was shooting 26% on pull-up jumpers. He was creating space, but he wasn't able to finish these shots a lot of the time. But in the last 15 games, he's shooting 44% from the field and 35% from 3 on pull-up jumpers. This has definitely been one of the biggest reasons for his recent stretch and something which is really important for his ceiling. Most of his possessions are still off the ball. The Rockets have run a lot of actions in the stretch to get him the ball, and even if he gets half a step over opposing defenses, he can finish the play with the space he creates. His step backs, side steps, his improving handle combined with the generational athleticism and flexibility, he's shooting 40% from mid-range and 37% from 3. All numbers showing an improvement in his shot-making ability. This is a trend with many rookies. Anthony Edwards last season had eerily similar numbers before the All-Star break. Many rookies who are considered shot makers have very inefficient starts to seasons. Putting a lot of stock into half a rookie season doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's just being very naive. Because you can't really expect a guy to go from a lower level of defense to the highest level of defense in the NBA and expect him to be an efficient scorer from day one. That's just unrealistic. Even though he played in the G League last year, there is a very clear gap in quality of players between the G League and the NBA, and it takes time to get used to. And Jalen Green looks like he's gotten used to it. For rookies like this, the most important thing to look for is flashes. Something Jalen Green has shown throughout the season whether or not his shot is falling. And this improved pull-up shooting has opened a new array of shots he can make by getting to the rim because defenders are respecting his shot a lot more and have to guard him tighter. He hasn't been the best driver yet. His handle limitations still don't allow him to take complete advantage of the gravity he has as a pull-up shooter. But before February 4th, Jalen Green was averaging 8.9 tries per game and shooting 44.4% of his tries. But in the last 15 games, he's shooting 50% of his tries. He's shooting 57% at the rim in the last 15 games, which is almost league average and much better than the 51% he shot before the stretch. He has shown some incredible flashes of crafty finishing and some flashes of finishing through contact. Something which should only make you more confident about this is the fact that Jalen Green is still only 19 years old and is only 178 pounds. This is far from his final NBA body. It isn't even close to it in fact. He's not great at absorbing contact yet, but he isn't afraid to go at you. If you give him enough momentum, he will go at you and try to end your career with a poster. And imagine someone who is a 99th percentile athlete with a lot of muscle, speed and burst coming at you. He's going to find the perfect balance of weight, which doesn't hinder his athleticism very soon. And legitimately, he has the potential to be an incredible finisher. That combined with his improved pull-up shooting and handle is going to be one of the best scorers in all of basketball at his prime. This pull-up shooting is exactly what the scouts loved so much about Jalen Green's game. His ability to score at all 3 levels, and the flashes have definitely been there. Another thing which has impressed me throughout the season is Jalen Green's passing. Jalen is a very unselfish player. He can't make super high level reads or make crazy cross-court passes, but he's a very willing passer and a very good pick and roll ball handler in my opinion. His downhill pressure and pull-up game makes him a menace on the pick and roll. The Rockets haven't had anyone great to pair alongside him in the pick and roll because Wood wasn't very good at rolling to the basket and wasn't popping very well for some reason. But recently, Christian Wood has been pick and popping very well, allowing Jalen Green to create good plays on the pick and roll. As I mentioned before, Jalen has the potential to be one of the greatest scorers of our generation. But what separates a star from a superstar is the ability to have an effect on the game at all times. Because even if Jalen Green is an incredible scorer, when teams double him, he has to be able to get the ball to a player in a position where his teammates can take advantage of a 4-on-3. He has to be able to make dump-off passes, skip passes, and find an open cutter in the pick and roll. He has to be able to take advantage of the downhill pressure he'll eventually be able to apply, and when he collapses the defense, be able to kick the ball out to open shooters who can finish the play. When you have the scoring gravity to the extent that Jalen Green will eventually have, if he reaches anything close to his scoring potential, you're going to create advantages at a very high level, because that's what high level scorers do. Jalen has shown incredible flashes in this department. I don't think he's an elite passer or anything, but the flashes as a pick and roll ball handler and passer have been great. He doesn't have to be like a top 5 passer in the league or anything. He just has to learn how to make great reads. There are some examples of players who have eventually developed into great passers over the course of time and have taken advantage of their scoring gravity. For example, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Brandon Ingram, who you may think are not very similar to Jalen Green, but hear me out. Both Ingram and Shai were negative passers initially. I'd go to the extent to say Jalen Green right now is better than rookie Ingram and Shai at passing. But now, both of them are incredible playmakers and players I'd have ranked at like top 15 in the entire league. Both of them improved from like ground zero to decent passes to making good reads on the pick and roll to now being able to make high level reads while showing flashes of manipulating opposing defenses. And I think Jalen Green has the ability to be a high level playmaker himself. His improvements as a passer are going to be very important over the course of time and something I'm very confident he'll achieve with the flashes we've seen from him this season. Another important aspect of Jalen's game is his off-ball ability. As mentioned before, he's been playing a lot off-ball and he has been very decent at it. He's shooting 38% of the catch in the last 15 games, 47% of dribble handoff actions, while showing great flashes off screens and as a movement shooter. He will automatically provide a lot of spacing value just by the virtue of being an incredible shooter and an incredible attacker off the catch, but moving off the ball a lot will help his off-ball playmaking, which will lead to open cuts for cutters. Overall, I legitimately think he has the potential to be one of the best playmakers in the league if he ever reaches his ceiling. You might be thinking I'm talking
problem that they have had is the Clippers are 14 of 26 from the three-point line. Most of those have come off of the miscues. Jackson, the long two.
In the start of the season, Jalen Green was legitimately one of the worst defenders in the entire league. But I'd say he's been positive for over a month now. He's been better at holding his own on ball. His screen navigation isn't great, but is a million times better than what it was in the start of the season. He's improved his handle, allowing him to be more effective on the ball. All in the stretch of like 5 months since the season started? There's a reason he looks like a different animal since the All-Star break. Everyone he has worked with from high school to college to the NBA has described him as a gym rat. The Rockets coaching staff, Rafael Stone, Steven Silas, and guys like Jared Jack, an NBA veteran who was a part of the G League Grand team last season, and his teammates and everyone he has worked with thinks he has a ridiculous work ethic. And betting against guys who have a great work ethic is never a smart thing to do. There is a famous quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Jalen Green has both the talent and the work ethic, which is why I'm super confident he's going to reach the best version of himself, whatever that may be. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already.